that I mentioned that I went on 2 dates with this girl I liked, but she like didn't want to go out anymore.
Yeah, can we get the follow-up on that?
Yeah, so then they called her and made her like agree to go on a 3rd date with me, but I texted her after and was like, "Hey, sorry that they called you. I just couldn't say no."
Yeah, what's the news there? This is the Hardly Working podcast. My name's Matt Banwart. Today's comedian we're talking about their formative jobs with is Owen Gallivan.
Heyo, folks.
I don't know why I turned in. I started doing, hey, and today.
And today on fucking
that voice
this
up top.
wacky podcast.
Yeah, and we're at Kelly's Irish Pub in Austin, Texas. Beautiful little pub. Letting us film here on a Monday night. Very cool of them.
Best Guinness in town, baby. They got the right tap for it and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got the nitro tap, dude. You need that
For
shit.
real?
Yeah, best Guinness in town.
Owen, you are Irish. You're from the Boston area, Worcester, Massachusetts.
You're goddamn right I am. And my
Yeah.
mom's from Ireland.
What's
so
what's the proper way to pour a Guinness?
You have to like
God.
Well, it depends if you're pouring it from a tap or a can.
From a proper nitro tap here.
Yeah, you have to like you do like 3/4 of it, and then you let it sit and settle, and then you slowly fill the rest so that the foam is.
If
like
I order Guinness here and they don't do that, can I be like, oh, that's not the way you do it?
They're gonna do
Irish
it.
friend.
They know how to do it, dude. Everyone
do.
that works here is like from Ireland. Do you notice that they all have accents?
Oh, for real?
Not everybody, but a lot of them. Yeah.
Oh, I just thought they were all autistic.
Nope.
I got beautiful fetal alcohol eyes. That's.
Yeah. No, a lot of the people here are from Ireland, and like a lot of the bar patrons. If you just like sit at the bar, you'll notice
For
that
real?
like anyone that's from Ireland in Austin.
I like an
here.
Irish pub that's actually Irish.
Oh yeah.
Because I went to college in Ames, Iowa, and we had I used to always make the joke. It's like, yeah, we don't have any dance clubs in Iowa, but we've got 5 Irish pubs on Welch Ave.
Dude, an Irish pub is the best thing that's ever been invented.
But they were all just dance clubs. They were all just like college bars, but they were all just like Irish. And I was like, what the fuck's the gimmick here, dude? I don't know any Irish
people. Learn how to
people.
Irish step dance, dude.
Dude, they didn't do it. It was just like it was like, oh, welcome to Mickey's Pub, and I was like, the Mickey's Pub has nothing to do except for St. Patrick's Day.
You know what? That's cultural appropriation, and I won't stand for it, dude.
Well, it's blatantly what it was. It actually was.
It's goddamn bullshit, dude.
No one talks about the appropriation of Irish pubs.
Dude, nothing makes me laugh more than you ever every Cinco de Mayo someone posts just because it's Cinco de Mayo doesn't mean you need to wear a poncho and a sombrero or whatever. But then that same person's always just paints their face green on St. Patrick's Day, even though they're fucking Czechoslovakian or whatever the fuck. And I'm oh, so it's fine when it's all right, whatever.
Yeah. Your last name's obviously German. Cut that shit out.
It doesn't bother me that they do that. It bothers me that then, on Cinco de Mayo, they'll be like, yeah, you can't do it to fucking other cultures, but I'll do it to yours. And
I remember, in college, it was, the debate was hot of, well, if they have black pride, why don't they have white pride, you know? And the college Republicans would say that, and we were like, nah, well, that would be weird to say white pride. And you can have, Irish pride on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Or German pride on Von Struber's
Day. Yeah, I
think
think white pride becomes white power pretty quickly, and that's
it's like pick a culture. You can have American pride.
Yeah,
that's objectively non-racial, I would argue. You can have, English pride if you want to be a loser.
Yeah, if you want to be a fucking lame as fuck, dude.
Is it crazy that every episode I do goes straight into race?
Every single one, dude. What's my favorite race is the Iditarod, dude. Hey,
with the dogs,
with the motherfucking dogs, dude. Just
a
couple dogs talking about dog races, dude.
And so you're from the Worcester area. I think little behind the scenes here. Owen was actually the first episode we ever recorded. The audio and video was not done correctly. Hopefully, it's done correctly this time around.
It goddamn better be.
We had to burn it. So I know you have some early day jobs. You talked about working at a grocery store last time. We could talk about it again this time. Is there any other job or anything that's come to mind, any crazy coworker stories?
I worked at a pizza place with this guy. I forget if his name was Chino or Chico. I think it was Chino. I only worked with him for 3 months.
What race was it? No,
he was Asian and Puerto Rican, I think. I don't know what type of Asian he was.
Either way.
No, he was both. He was a mix of
crazy.
Asian and Spanish of some sort.
Right.
I think he was
That's a stereotype, but that is a tricky one to pin down.
I think he was Vietnamese and Puerto Rican.
Oh,
but
same place.
Yeah. But dude, he was this fat, bald, tatted up, fucking literally scar across his neck, got it.
How old was he?
I'd say pushing 40 probably. But
I know exactly the type.
But so his
Did he have a mohawk?
No, he was bald. And he had scars on his fucking head and shit.
A mohawk is 80% bald.
It possibly more than 80%. We'll have to crunch the numbers.
People don't talk about mohawk is just right up there with bald.
Basically bald.
Yeah.
But this dude, he fucking he used to talk about how his actual gig was that him and his friends ran like a chop shop. Like they would steal cars, chop them up, and sell the parts.
So he was
separately.
like vocal about that to like 17-year-old.
Yeah. He thought it was like really cool to be like, hey, I'm like a career criminal. I don't just fucking make pizzas or whatever.
Yeah.
So
when I'm working at Domino's, I'm also taking catalytic converters.
Yeah, and then he stopped coming to work one day, and then they found his body chopped up in the fucking trunk of a car.
Talk about
kind of came full circle, dude.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy because you knew exactly why.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, who knows what else he was doing. If he was telling me about the car stuff.
Yeah, dude, if he's bragging to a 17-year-old about the cars, you know what else is going on is, like, way worse.
Crazy.
Bragging about chopping up cars and, like, stealing shit is wild, especially, like, on that level of, like, expensiveness.
Yeah, I don't know if they were doing, like, fucking super nice cars, super shitty cars, both. Who fucking knows? I'd assume really nice ones.
Well, also not to transition too blatantly, you were also up on some mischief.
I was a mischievous boy.
You were also what were you doing before and during the pizza shift?
So I quit my first ever job at a grocery store to become a drug dealer.
I forgot about that story. We can talk about that story too, but I want to talk about the pizza shop.
So I
you were dealing a little bit of lettuce on the side?
Yeah, I would keep
pharmacist.
I would keep like a pizza bag in my backseat with two pizza boxes in it, and the top pizza box had pizza in it, and the one underneath usually had I won't say the amount, but a lot of weed in it, and I was basically full-time selling weed while part-time delivering pizzas.
And it's like they just go together so effortlessly.
Dude, it couldn't be better. And then like also I'm obviously like smoking weed, driving around, eating people's French fries and onion rings and shit.
That's so funny.
The funniest thing ever was that one time what I thought was my brother ordered a pizza to like his buddy's apartment.
Oh no.
And so I went there and I ate a slice of the pizza on the way to be like funny.
Oh no.
And then it wasn't for my brother.
So what happened? What do you have to do?
Oh, I paid for it and just apologized to the guy. And then I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I thought my brother ordered this.
That's
like,
so
this is
funny.
like his order, and he always hangs out here. I was like, I ate a slice of the pizza. It's like a fun joke. And then he was like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, I'll pay for it. Don't tip me. Don't pay for it. Please don't call my boss. And then he didn't.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then every time I delivered that guy pizza after, he'd be like, is it all there? When I fucking brought him.
So the guy was a
he
repeat
would like
customer?
fuck with, yeah.
Dude, I love how he kept ordering from the same place.
Yeah, he's just a fucking diehard, dude. We did have the best buffalo chicken in town, and that's what he ordered. So
that's so dude, to have to make the walk of shame again from that is insane.
Well, I was just like, the next time I delivered there, because I delivered to the apartment all the time.
Yeah.
But it was usually like the kids and their friends.
Yeah.
But this time it was like, I don't know, the dad or the mom's boyfriend or whoever the fuck it was.
Really? That's so
And
funny.
then then every time I'd get to the order to that apartment, I'd be like, please don't be this fucking guy. And then I felt like it was him more often than not after that happened, even though he like never ordered before.
What's up?
Yeah, he was just, he probably just wanted to fuck with me, honestly.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that was very embarrassing to like the door opens and I'm picturing it's going to be my little brother be like, yeah, fuck you. I fucking ate a slice of your pizza.
Yeah.
And it's just a grown man, and I had high as fuck. I had to be like, I thought my brother ordered this. I fucking ate a piece.
You're so dumb. That's such a dumb prank gone wrong. That's a great one.
Yeah, hilarious.
You ever pull a prank on any other customer besides that, or is that the only?
No.
That's a pretty great one.
I've definitely I one time driving around, I had like 5 deliveries in, and I used to like eat out of people's like orders and stuff, like French fries, onion rings,
He's
whatever.
the problem.
Yeah, I'm the problem. Don't order
look this
delivery.
man in the eye and notice that he is the enemy.
But one time I was driving around and I was like pretty drunk, and I just realized too late that I had like eaten way too much of this guy's fucking onion rings. So then I like called a girl I worked with, told her to put down an order of onion rings and not say anything to anyone, and had her like hand it to me through the window of the back of the pizza place so I could like get more to like fill this guy's order with. Classic.
That's like video game side quest stuff where you get to the location. It's like, actually, get more onion rings.
Get more onion rings, and then you get them, and it's like,
ding, yeah. And then the timer's running to like 30 seconds, and you're like, how am I gonna do it? And you have to run over civilians to make it happen.
It's like Crazy Taxi. You ever play that game?
Yeah, that was the game I was thinking of.
Yeah, I played it on Sega Dreamcast. No big deal, dude.
You a Dreamcast guy?
No, my neighbor just had literally every system. I didn't have any video games growing up.
Oh my gosh. We had a Sonic Adventure Battle 2. We got it not for the GameCube. My neighbor had it for the GameCube. We got it for the Wii, and the Wii could play GameCube games.
Hell yeah.
There's things to Chow Garden you could only get on Sega Dreamcast, and I was like, man, if only we had a Dreamcast.
A Dreamcast was like the weirdest. Like, I feel like no one had it. I don't even know how my neighbor acquired one. But they had the Sega Genesis and Dreamcast. But the Genesis was like kind of popular, I think.
I think the Genesis was way bigger, and then the Dreamcast, for whatever reason, just fell off.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think it's one of those things. I think I read up some article on it where someone was like, "Oh, it was a better system. The specs were better. It was technically better. Just didn't catch on for whatever reason."
Yeah, I think what did it get bounced by? PlayStation 1?
Yeah, PlayStation 1, GameCube kind of took the market.
Yeah.
Anyway.
just a little video game console history. Not a big deal.
Yeah, huge. I mean, this is an educational podcast. Now it is. I'm now calling it an educational podcast.
Yeah, it's educational. I'm trying to think of any other. Oh, one time a bunch of little kids tried to rob me.
For real?
Delivering pizza. And by little kids, I mean like 13, and I was like 18 probably. And there was like 5 of them.
They tried to jump you?
Yeah.
They on the way to the house?
So I was delivering to like the government housing like project in my town.
Yeah.
And I was like, standing at the door,
Hello,
like buzzing an apartment.
Oh no.
And then there's just like 5 kids like walked up, and they were like, "Yo, like give us all your money," and like and I like turned around and kind of was like, "What?" And they're like, "Give us all the money and like all the pizza." And I just like laughed and looked at them, and I was like, "Guys, I have $60 in my pocket." I was like, "That's $12 each, and I've seen all your faces."
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you really?" I was like, "You want to get arrested for $12?" And then I knew one of their brothers, and I just like looked at him and I was like, "Dude, I like know your older brother." And then he was like, "Oh." And then they all just like looked at each other and then just like scattered and fucking just ran away. And then I just had to go back because they called the pizza in, obviously. So I just went back. And my boss was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Yeah, a bunch of little kids tried to rob me." He was like, "Should we call the cops?" I was like, "No, they're retarded."
No, dude.
I was like,
if I was them, I'd be like, "Hey, can you at least drop the pizza? We ordered it."
No, they didn't. They didn't have money to pay for it, and I was like, "I'm not giving you the pizza either. Fuck off."
That's so funny. That's
just like the dumb child brain of like, yeah, he'll just like give us like. I mean, in their mind, like $100 is.
Do they have like anything going for them? Like knives? Nothing?
No. I mean, maybe they had knives. They didn't pull any, and they just were like. I think they just thought 5 kids could like.
They just really
take the pizza, and I just like. It's not even like I didn't want to give them the money. I just
like the
was
strength gap from 13 to 18 is like pretty significant.
Yeah, I think 5
like
13-year-olds probably beat up an 18-year-old. But
probably. I mean, if it was like 15, I'd be like, oh, for sure, that'd be scary.
Yeah, they were pretty young. They were like not in high school yet, I'd say.
Yeah, dude, you probably had a shot.
And I just laughed, and like I said, I was like, guys, like I just like clocked in, so I'd taken like 2 deliveries, so I had literally like $60 in my pocket.
That's so.
And I was like, you want $60 fucking dollars? You want me to call the cops? Like, I'm just gonna walk to my car and call the cops and be like, oh yeah, it was a kid in like one kid in a red shirt with a blue hat, one like, and
That's so funny.
and then they'd be like, are these the kids? I'll be like, yeah, I saw them in direct light, like all 5 of their faces.
Was it like daylight?
No, it was like
like
the sun was like down, but I mean like the apartment complex had fucking lights everywhere, obviously. So like they like circled me in like the brightest spot, like right at the door.
That's so funny.
I was like looking directly in their eyes, like, are you guys the dumbest kids ever?
Well, like they live in Massachusetts, so
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, number 1 in public education, no big deal.
Speaking of bad public education, you always talk about like playing baseball at the park with your friends. Do you have any notable stories from that? You always like mention that you were like, yeah, we just go play baseball. Which is such like cool Sandlot shit that like
baseball fucking rules.
We did a lot of sports, but it was never we never had the coordination to make baseball happen or the numbers.
Yeah, so the way we would play baseball was if you could just get enough for one team, it just like one kid would bat while everyone else fielded, and then you just like play that way.
That's cute.
It was awesome, and then also the baseball field in our town very regularly left like in the dugout. There was like a thing where they kept like catcher's gear for like all the teams, and they would leave it open. So we could like actually get catcher's gear and shit.
What was your best position?
By the time I was done playing baseball, I was pretty much strictly a left fielder. But when I was like really young, I played like shortstop, third base, and pitcher.
So you had a cannon arm.
And then I have a pretty good arm or had. And then I just didn't grow at all. And then like everyone else got bigger, and then the field got bigger.
Yeah.
And they were like, go to the outfield. You're fucking 4 foot. I entered high school 4'11".
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't even 5 feet tall when I entered high school.
Damn, that's tough.
Yeah.
But you would have been a hell of a batter though. Small strike zone.
I batted for a pretty high average, but I was like hitting strictly singles, couple doubles.
I get that.
Yeah.
Where would that go? Like 4th in the batting order? Is that?
I was a pretty much a regular 6 or 7 hitter.
Yeah. Okay, that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was really young, I started baseball late, so then I didn't like. There was like AAA and Little League in my town were like the same age groups, but like the kids in AAA were just like worse.
Yes.
And I started in that league my first year, even though I was like old enough to like technically play in the Little League.
Yeah.
And I just dominated. I was like, like I was a pitcher and I just like was like untouchable. And then I went to the next league up the next year and all the kids were like way better. And that's when I started like playing other positions. And then I was like, by the time I was in high school, I was like all left field.
So I think about that all the time. I was like, both my brothers were held back in like kindergarten. One of my oldest brothers was held back in first grade because they didn't have kindergarten.
What, he didn't know shapes?
Yeah, dude, he's really dumb. I make fun of him all the time. It's fine. He actually did the podcast. There's an episode with my older brother on it. You should listen to it. Owen and people. But no, he so they were all held back a year, right?
Yeah.
And I was the only one who wasn't held back. My little brother was like super advanced for his age because he was like the oldest kid in his class.
Yeah.
And I look back at like there's two twins that are like really athletic in my grade, and they were both held back, and like they were like the oldest one in the grade by miles. And I always think of like I was like just at the cutoff, and my parents were like, nah, we'll let him. And I always wonder if I was held back just 1 year, like would I be like, because that means I would have hit this height in like 7th grade instead of 8th grade. You know?
Yeah,
like,
you would have been fucking huge.
Like
I mean,
coaches
that's still
would have been like, dude, we gotta invest in
fucking
this guy.
8th grade is still huge.
Or like for whenever I hit 6'4", like I would have hit that a year earlier, and I think coaches have been like, oh, we gotta invest in him.
Yeah, I mean, I was like the oldest one of the oldest people in my grade, but not because I got held back. Like just the cutoff date for like the like to start kindergarten was in like September, and my birthday's in November.
Well, you're an engineer now.
Yeah,
as well
so
as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. So like when I was a senior in high school, I turned 18 in November of my senior year. I was like pretty old for my grade.
Can I ask? We never really talked about this. I've seen you do it on the road. You do a great job of balancing your day job and stand-up comedy. Has there ever been like a direct like a moment where you're like, I might lose the job over this, or have you been pretty good with it throughout the years?
I mean, I've never just from doing stand-up. I think it's just the other things that come with stand-up for me personally, like the drinking and the late nights and like that type of shit.
I get that.
Sometimes I like show up to work super hungover and I'm like, fuck, I can't balance these two things.
Yeah,
but that has
hard.
less to do with comedy and more to do with my own personal...
Your own vices.
Yeah, my own personal vices. But no, I mean...
Which is funny, you're the one drinking water right now.
It's actually weird ginger ale that I had them make me. I don't think it's on the menu, but they put like soda water and something else in a cup.
Oh, that's fun.
It's pretty good.
I love ginger. Ginger ale is a slept-on beverage.
Ginger ale is like... so good, dude. It's good alone. It's great with whiskey. I wish there was whiskey in mine right now.
Ooh,
taking a month off drinking, speaking of, because I've been going a little too aggressive with it.
Well, was there a low point in particular that you look at?
No low point. I was just in that cycle of like I'd wake up super hungover, so I was like, well, I have to drink so I'm not hungover, and then I would just wake up.
At work?
No, not at work, but like right when I got off. No, I never drink at work. I used to love lunch beers, but since I've been in Texas, I like haven't done that at all. In Massachusetts, I drank 3 lunch beers like it was nobody's fucking business.
That's wild.
Dude, I've drank like 6 beers on my lunch before.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I worked for this like the first job I had was like a cool corporate office. It was like a hip media company, and I like everyone there was like trying so hard to be like a cool kid as like a 25-year-old, and I was just like rolling my eyes like this is so cringy, like. None of what we're doing is cool. Like the company had like just fired their entire like social media team, and that's why people everyone worked there was to like be part of the cool online thing. And it like they lost it, and they were like trying so hard to still be cool. They had a keg in the office.
That's pretty tight.
And people would do lunch beers, and I was just like, I remember I was contrarian. I was like, everyone I talked like that is such a cool place to work. You have a keg in the office. It's so sick. And I was just like, it is so gay. Like it is like literally like it's a bunch of like 25-year-olds being like, yeah, dude, I was a sig app. You know, wearing the backwards hat and like the fucking
backwards hat in the office is crazy.
Yeah, like boat pants and just worked on a Tuesday, and I was like, this is so lame. I was like, this is not cool anymore, dude. Get over it.
No,
wear khakis like a real man, you bitch.
I think part of the allure of a lunch beer is having to hide it when you go back to the office.
See, now that's like, sick.
Look at what I'm getting away with.
See, now that's bad.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, dude,
that's what I want.
At my last job,
I want a devious fucking lunch beer.
Two jobs ago, I should say, in Massachusetts. So, long story short, they just kept telling me I was going to get like this promotion.
Yeah.
They just kept outside hiring for it and firing people in like 2 months because they were so bad at the job.
Oh yeah.
And then they finally hired someone that was a year younger than me with the exact same degree from the exact same school.
Ooh.
So then I was like, fuck this.
That hurts.
So hurts. I started like being like trying to get fired because it was right during COVID. So it was like they hired her like 6 months before COVID probably.
Incentives.
So I was like, all my friends were out of work. The government was giving them so much money.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna get fired. So,
Get
dude,
a
I was
severance on top of it too. That'd be crazy.
Dude, I was like showing up to the office fucking an hour and a half late every single day,
That's
taking
so
my
sick.
lunch half an hour early, doing 2-hour lunches, drinking 6 beers on my lunch,
That's so dope.
showing back up, and they just like wouldn't fire me. And then it came to a head at this point where like I fucked up, and I fucked up on accident, but I was shipping like it was like a custom automation company, so we were shipping this like whole machine, and I forgot to put 2 braces in the crate that we shipped it in, so it like fucking got jostled around a bunch in shipment, and like a bunch of shit broke.
Yeah.
And then they had like a meeting with me, and they were like, "It seems like you're like trying to get fired," and I was like, "Yeah, I am."
Oh no.
Like said it to their faces, and they were like, "What? Like, what do you mean?" And then I like explained what I explained to you. Like, you kept telling me I was gonna get this job.
You can give it to me. Go fuck yourself.
And then like when I brought it up, they were like, "Well, like this isn't the way to handle it. Like, you should have talked to us." And I was like, I've been talking to you for like 2 years about it.
Yeah.
And now, like, fuck that. And they're like, all right, well, if you don't want to work here, you don't have to. I was like, I'm not quitting. I was like, you can fire me. Because, like, obviously, if you quit, you don't get, like, anything.
You don't get the benefits.
So I was just like, no. And then we were in this weird, like, standoff of, like, they knew.
They didn't want to pay you the severance and
yeah,
everything?
and, dude, and then, like, I used to, so, like, I smoked cigarettes at the time, but I used to, like, go out of my way to, like, not do it, like, outside my office, especially when I knew people were coming, dude.
Yeah.
I would fucking, when I knew people were coming, I would on purpose, like, stand outside and smoke.
That's so
And
funny.
just, like, be an asshole. And then, like, the funniest part of like at the end of this, and I didn't do this on purpose either, but I got a job offer somewhere else, and I was like, nice, like and it was way more money and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was taking it, and when I told them that's where I was going, they kind of like gave me like this weird look. I was going to this company called EarthPact, but come to find out, that company EarthPact used to be this company IMS.
Yeah.
That sued the company I worked for and almost put them out of business because they like built them a machine that like was all fucked up.
Oh, that's so sick.
So I went and worked for like they're basically like and the
company
owners
they hated the most.
Yeah, the owners of the companies knew each other personally and like hated each other.
I love that.
And then I went and worked there and they fucking loved me at EarthPact.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I only left to move here. I loved that job. It was fucking sweet.
Damn, that sucks. That's brilliant, dude. That's a kick-ass story. I love that. That's what the pod's all about, baby.
Yeah, dude. That job like paid me dog shit. Like, especially, I mean, like for an engineer, the pay was like.
Was your first job out of college?
Yeah, there. Like, I think when I graduated, my salary was like $55,000.
Dude,
or something. Where like I knew like peers that were making 70, 80,
well, dude,
90.
my first job, I negotiated in the interview. My first interview. The amount is like embarrassing to brag about, but I got up to $42,000 a year.
Nice.
But it was $35,000, and I remember like
$35,000's like minimum wage shit.
Oh yeah, and then I would drive Uber on weekends because I knew I wanted out of the job. I knew I wanted out.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna start saving money. I'd drive Uber on weekends, and like my coworkers would make fun of me. They'd be like, I'd talk about it in meetings. I'd be like, oh yeah, I drive Uber on weekends, and they'd be like, oh really? That's so lame. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so. And they were all like just like cool, like 20, like I said, like 25, 28-year-old like alcoholics, and I was just like I didn't know what to tell them. I was like, I'm actually making more money what I do on Friday, Saturday, Sunday than I am at this job right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, I was like, they make like $85,000 a year in Chicago driving Uber. I was like, you should not make fun of them.
Yeah, that's a shit ton of money.
And I did.
This was in Chicago.
Yeah,
too.
and I dude, the most I ever made driving Uber was I followed college football pretty well, and I started to more at this job because it was a college media company, and I would drive people during college football season. I'd go to like the white neighborhoods of Chicago.
Nice.
When everyone was going to games, and like I would just wear like a black T-shirt, something really generic like I am right now, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, Michigan State, yeah, go Spartans!" Like, and Kenneth Walker's a hell of a running back, and I'd get crazy tips.
Just playing these bitches like a fiddle, dude.
I'd drop them off, get the next guy, I'd be like, "Oh, Michigan, go blue." Michigan State sucks. That Kenneth Walker is over. I just like.
So there was this like just like a regular customer at this pizza place I worked at. I worked at 2 different pizza places, but this is the second one.
Which one's your favorite?
The second one by far. But the first one was cool because I worked with like one of my best high school friends at it. But I made way more money at the second one.
Oh, that's nice.
And the boss was way cool. Like the whole job was cooler except for the fact that my coworker wasn't like one of my good friends.
Okay.
Dude, I remember when he trained me for that job, the first one, at this place, you literally didn't have to do like anything but deliver the pizzas.
That's nice.
So, and wipe the pans and fold boxes, but like whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, like I remember the fucking first time he brought me on a delivery, we go back to the parking lot, we park. He fucking pulls out like half a blunt, lights it in his car, reaches into his backseat, grabs a Thrasher magazine, starts flipping through it and showing me stuff in it. And we're in there for like 20 minutes.
Boss?
No, well, he's my friend who was like training me for the job.
First job or second job? Sorry, I lost
First
it.
one.
First one.
First one. So he's like
up-to-date.
flipping through. He's like, dude, did you see this? Did you see this? He's like flipping through shit.
Oh, man,
we're in there for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing? I looked at him. I was like, what are we doing? He's like, dude, we're slacking off. It's part of the job. And I was just like, that's so fucking funny. One of the funniest dudes ever. Like, obviously doesn't do stand-up, but one of the funniest guys I've ever fucking met. RJ Copper. Look him up.
Shout out RJ. Shout out.
Coop.
Don't follow Owen Gallivan or the podcast. Follow RJ Copper.
But, yeah, so at the second pizza place, there was this, like, regular customer that one night I fucking delivered to him. I'd say he was, like, I don't know, 35 maybe, like had a house, but he was like just like a bachelor, so he just like was always had his boys over on like Friday nights and would just like order pizza.
Yeah.
They were always hammered and shit, playing like beer pong in his basement, you know, just like and one night I like showed up and I think I probably just looked like super high and they just like asked me did I have weed.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and they're like, we just want like a little, we don't even like smoke anymore, but like whatever. So I just literally like grabbed like a little weed and just gave it to them.
Yeah.
So they tipped me like fucking $100 and then they're like, wait, like, do you want a beer? I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll have a beer. I was like 19 maybe. And then they were like, wait, and then one of them like all drunk, like, wait, you got to shotgun it with us. I was like, okay. So I fucking shotgun a beer with them, beat them all in like a shotgun race. And they're all like big dudes. I'm like super skinny, little fucking like 19-year-old, like 130 pounds. Damn. Fucking beat them in a shotgun race. And they were like, mind's blown or whatever. And then like what the guy who owns the house was like, dude, the last fucking kid who came here, we offered him a beer, and he said no, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what's your name? I was like, Owen. He's like, we're requesting you every fucking time. And then, dude, they would call and request me to deliver. Every single time I'd drink a beer with them, every single time I'd, like, give him, like, a little weed, and he'd tip me, like, $50 to $80 every fucking time.
Fuck, yeah. Dude, rich people just want to see you have fun.
Dude, it was sick.
I worked with really rich people once, and, like, at one point, like, they would throw, like, parties, and I'd always, like, just go, like, wild, because I was, like, so poor. And I'd be drinking, like, you know, $30 cocktails all on their tab, going so crazy, sick. Just like fucking feeling myself. And someone pulled me aside and like, you know, the reason they like you is because you're the only person that like parties around them. Like most people are so afraid of like their wealth and influence that they won't party. And I was just like, dude, that's so gay. Why would you not like?
Yeah, you're like I don't even know what weelth or influence means. Dude.
I was like, oh, too many syllables in those damn words.
That's so funny.
But I'd get wasted. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
I don't know if I shared this on the podcast yet. I got super wasted, and one time they had this, like, it was a rooftop party in New York, and I don't know these people because I love them so much, like genuinely as people, but the NFL commissioner, Raj Goodell, shows up.
No fucking
This is a real thing. He was like a friend of them. That's how rich these people were, and they were so cool. They were like the nicest people. Even if they weren't rich, I'd still be friends with them to this day. In fact, it's almost annoying because I want to be closer to them, but I like every time I want to like reach out, I'd be like, no, they'll just think I want money, and I've never asked, but I'm sure they get it a lot from, like, people.
Yeah.
But, no, so here's the story. So Raj Goodell shows up. He's wearing, like, a suit and, like, white Skechers. I remember you had the suit jacket on, suit tie, and the, like, lamest white Skechers. And I remember, like, it's like I put on my Snap story. It's like, look, Raj Goodell's a fucking gay loser dressed like a dad.
What are those?
Dumbass. I was so drunk, dude. I was my biggest drunk I've ever was in front of them. Maybe this is why we don't hang out anymore. This is definitely why we don't hang out.
You're like, wait, come to think about it.
So that year, Jesse James was a tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game against the Patriots.
Yeah.
He caught a pass, took a step, and then extended the ball over the goal line, and then a Patriot patted out. Now, because the way the rules were written, for whatever reason, it didn't count as a touchdown, but it also didn't even count as a catch. And it cost the Steelers the home field advantage in like a favorable matchup in the playoffs. That game did. And it all came down to this one call. It was like the last play of the game. And there's the Jesse James catch. There's Tuesday like Twitter accounts that are like Jesse James caught the ball, and they tweet it every day.
That's so funny.
Like day 900, and I remember like Steelers fans were so mad about it. Just like it was at least a catch.
Yeah,
we had at least one more play because he had a minimum he had the first down. Anyway, so I was fucking pissed off. The one guy who has the ability to change the rules is there, and I am like so wasted. And I was like, Matt, if the NFL commissioner was in front of you right now, what would you say that would make your lineage proud?
That's so fucking
And so,
funny.
dude, I just got wasted, and I walked up to him. Everyone's, like, shaking his hands. Like, and, like, other coworkers, like, brought their parents to this party. Mine couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
We're poor people from Iowa. So everyone's parents, like, they're just introducing them to Raj Goodell. And I was, like, getting, like, mad that my parents weren't there. And I was just like, whatever. And so I walk up to him, and I was like, dude, 6 shoes. And I was like, I was dressed like shit. Because I had spent 75 days on the road, and my suit had like just like holes in it. I remember like the dress shirt I had
fucking funny.
Was just like torn up, and there was like stitches sticking. I still have
75 days on the road doing comedy or doing that like crazy
doing work for them.
Okay.
It was a lot of work. And so I went up and I'm like, hey, did your shoes suck? And he was like, what? And I was like, also, dude, Jesse James fucking caught that ball, dude. What sort of fucking bullshit rule? Like, who reviews this shit? Oh, wait, it's your job.
That's so fucking
And then
funny.
he literally goes, security? And they look, and I was like the host of the event, technically.
Yeah.
And so security, instead of like kicking me out, they're like, sir, you have to leave with us. And he was kind of like, and he's like, well, I want to leave anyway. And so he walked out with security. And
God damn.
One end is he asked for security for me, but I'd like to believe I got him kicked out.
That's so fucking funny.
The reality is probably the opposite. Anyway, that's my
Roger
one
Goodell, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he fucking suspended Tom Brady for 4 fucking games because he was jealous.
Yeah, dude. Tom Brady
Just
did not
jealous.
inflate those balls.
Tom Brady didn't do shit, dude. Tom Brady's a fucking man.
He's a saint.
She's so handsome, dude.
Yeah, the
I wish I
patron
was
saint
his
of
son,
being
so
gay.
he'd kiss me on the lips.
Okay, that's good. I interrupted your way better joke. I'm sorry. I ruined that clip.
It's all good. I also realized we've never talked about fucking the fact that you're a Steelers fan and that the Patriots ruined your playoffs fucking like 20 times in your life.
Yeah, but like on Ben Roethlisberger's like first or second season, we destroyed your undefeated streak. You had like a full season undefeated. We'd beat you in the last game of the year, like before the AFC Championship.
Oh, I thought you were talking about 2007, and I was like, that's not true. We went undefeated to the Super Bowl. But
no, we beat one of your undefeated streaks.
Yeah.
The Steelers did. Pretty big deal.
Pretty big deal. Well, fucking Tom Brady never raped anybody, so.
Ben Roethlisberger's innocent, dude.
But yeah, you're
Ben
like, free Big Ben, free my boy, dude.
Yeah, dude. On God.
Oh, God.
It's so fun for years, like the Browns fans, because they're like Steelers and the Browns are like a rivalry. They'd be always like, yeah, the Steelers may have beaten us 24 out of the last 26 games, but at least our quarterback's not a creep. And then they got Deshaun Watson, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, you're like, who's a creep now?
I was like, on God?
Dude,
Talk your shit.
Didn't after like all the shit with Deshaun Watson happen, he like did something else like very similar?
I did. I don't know. I don't think he changed his ways. I think it's like pretty obvious he's still up. I don't think like the Cleveland Browns are in a position to like, because they gave up like 3 first-round picks and like their whole team's salary worth of money.
Crazy.
To have after he hadn't played football for like 2 years.
Yeah. Well, dude, fucking.
That's crazy.
And then the Texans like lucked into a fucking another stud, dude. What's his name? CJ Stroud.
Oh yeah.
He's nasty.
That's crazy.
And he's like a man of God, so he's like
Is he really?
So he won't like make girls give him hand jobs during massages or whatever Deshaun Watson was doing.
Yeah, CJ. Deshaun Watson may have paraded around as a man of God. He went to Clemson. That's like that's one of those schools always postures.
Yeah.
Religious.
But like I don't know. I'll never understand being a rich and famous athlete and being like, I want this masseuse to jerk me off. I don't want to just go. He could just go to the bar and pick up like the hottest.
Yeah,
girl
he could have.
there.
No, yeah, he was like. First of all, Houston's a dog shit city.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's only
Coming to you live
feel.
from Austin, Texas.
I already did my headlining date there. I'm not going to do it for another 2 years. People will forget by then.
They're going to dig this up, dude.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Dude, Houston sucks. I've been to Houston 4 times now. Every time I'm like, I keep going to different districts, different areas, and I'm like, where is this town cool?
Yeah, to be fair, I've only ever gone there and did shows and then left. So
I'll do shows. I'll go someplace different now because I'm trying to be like, where is Houston? Like, there's so many people. There has to be a fun part of town. Des Moines has like 3 really fun districts.
Yeah.
Des Moines, Iowa over Houston, Texas. And I don't even like Des Moines, Iowa.
That's a crazy take, but I respect it.
Yeah, dude.
I've never been to Des Moines, so I can't really say. But.
Yeah, well, Travis Scott should shout out Des Moines, Iowa more than he does Houston.
Imagine.
Yeah, dude. DSM, the 515.
This is the 515.
It's the Des Moines area code.
That sounds fake.
It probably is. Yeah, do you want to talk about how you got into the pizza delivery job? Because you talked about this last time.
The pizza delivery job. All right, so here's how I started delivering pizzas.
Because you were dealing drugs at pizzas.
I was just dealing drugs, but I was pretending that I still worked at a supermarket. My parents
before the pizza job.
Yeah, so I worked at a supermarket. I quit in very insane fashion. I like made a big scene and like yelled at my assistant manager and like threw my apron on his face and quit.
Cool, like a movie scene.
Yeah, like a movie scene.
God,
it was
I wish
very,
we had
very
the
cool.
fucking tapes from that, huh?
They probably do. And then
oh man.
Well, yeah, because when I was leaving, he was like, "Aren't you going to turn in your uniform?" And I was like, "What uniform? It's my clothes." And I had just had an apron. He's like, "The apron," and I was like, "Oh, fucking take it!" And I like threw it at him, and it's like
so cool.
And then, but so I quit that job, and I was making more money selling weed than I did make there, anyways. And then I started selling way more weed when I quit because I just like had all this extra time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. So I was pretending like I was literally dressing up like I worked there, having my parents drop me off.
Yeah.
With a backpack full of weed, and then like going to the skate park and selling all the weed, and then like getting picked back up at the grocery store. Then my dad went into the grocery store, asked for me when I was supposed to be working, and the guy was like, he hasn't worked here in 6 months. And my dad was like, what the fuck? So then my dad obviously knew where I was, pulls up at the skate park, and he's like, get in the fucking car. I was like, what? And then so I get in. He's like, yeah, here's what we're going to do. He's like, you're going to go home. You're going to tell your mom you quit your job today.
Yeah.
He's like, and then you're going to get another fucking job. So literally, like,
dude, your dad is so cool for
the next day, I just called my buddy who worked at a pizza place, and I was like, can you get me a job at that pizza place? And he was like, oh, yeah, dude, it's like the easiest fucking sickest job ever.
So sick.
And I can get anyone hired that I want, pretty much.
Yeah.
He was like the quote-unquote, like, delivery driver manager,
Yeah.
so he was just like, yeah, and then he basically just got another guy fired who was just like a pillhead, and then just got hired me. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's news. That's funny, dude.
What was his name? Mike Blakely.
So, shout out Mike Blakely. We're
Mike
sorry.
Blakely, are you still alive? Probably not.
He's cut up in the back of a car.
No, Mike Blakely's probably just like strung out on a couch somewhere. I don't know.
That's good, dude. I love this podcast. Was like a Tarantino film. We started at the end. We ended at the start.
Hell yeah.
That was good, man. Do you want to talk about real quick? It's not out yet, so you haven't had time to actually watch it yourself, but you did have your appearance on Kill Tony. Do you want to mention that?
Yeah. It went really fucking good. I took a huge risk on the joke itself.
Yes.
As a straight white man, doing a joke about the N-word is pretty dicey.
Notice Owen's volume level went way down.
Way down. Way down.
We are at a public place. And
we're in public, and so I took a big risk. It paid off. The joke went great.
Millions loved it.
Millions. I mean,
billions,
millions on millions.
Even.
Billions, actually.
Trillions.
I'd say
that's more than the human population.
If I had to guess, I would say 200 trillion people saw and loved it.
Yeah, the aliens came to Earth. That was the first broadcast they caught.
It just killed Tony.
And they're like, dude, this guy gets it.
Like
the Galactic Federation's
they're like, dude, we were going to destroy this race of fucking aliens, but nah, this dude's fucking chill.
I don't know. In my mind, I pictured when I said Galactic Federation, I went to the Lilo and Stitch one. I didn't go to like Star Trek or like Star Wars. I was like, the Lilo and Stitch people were like, nah, dude, they're sick.
That's so funny. Oh yeah. So but in the interview, which I think made the whole thing like
way better,
was that I mentioned that I went on 2 dates with this girl I liked, but she like didn't want to go out anymore.
Yeah. Can we get the follow up on that?
Yeah. So then they called her and made her like agree to go on a third date with me, but. I texted her after and was like, hey, sorry that they called you. I just couldn't say no.
Yeah. What's the news there?
I just texted her that night and just left it because she like specifically was like, I just like am not into you. So I just like don't want to go out with someone who's not into me.
Damn.
But I would have went out. Tony said he was going to donate $200 to the date.
Have you sent her that message yet?
No, but then he rescinded it because he remembered that I was an engineer and he was like, I'm not giving you money, you fucking piece of shit.
$200 on the date, I'd be like, hey,
I would have if he gave
out.
me $200, I would have texted her and been like, hey, I have $200 for the date. Let's just go get like a fancy ass dinner and cocktails.
Yeah. For $200, I'd be like, yeah, like I wanna go to someplace I wouldn't regularly go.
Yeah.
Even if the conversation's bad, we can just pretend. For
yeah,
one night.
Think I forget exactly. I'm trying to remember. I think I shouted her like I said that, and then I like pointed at the cameras of Kill Tony or wherever I thought the cameras were. I don't even know where they are.
Damn.
And I was like, Ava, if you're listening to this, like, give me another shot.
Did you say
or
her
something.
name?
I said her name. Yeah, and then. And then, like, they called her on speakerphone, and like when she said yes to the date, everyone in the club went fucking crazy.
Oh, that'll be so cool.
But dude, when I did Secret Show, like Red Band and some other lady,
everyone's gonna follow you, wanting a follow up on that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they'll hunt her down online and then fucking harass her until she goes.
Are you following her on Instagram?
No, we don't follow each other.
Oh, dude. Okay, that's gonna make it so much harder for people.
I know.
But they're gonna go straight to your followers or following.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know her last name, so I couldn't find her even if I wanted to. Probably.
If you find her, tag her in the comments.
Yeah, but yeah, she's a nice lady. Don't harass her, please.
Don't harass her, please. All right. Well, that was good. Can you do the cricket sound for us? All right, that was way cooler on the show. All right, this has been Owen Gallivan. You can follow him on Instagram at @tribalsleeve.
Like a cool tattoo.
I don't know if it's a terrible username or a great one. Either way, check him out.
On Twitter at YoungPerkUser1.
That's so sick. Dude, you have the best handles.
Yeah.
All right, my name is Matt Bennett. This has been the Hardly Working Podcast. Please follow us and check us out on all other podcasting platforms. Bye.
Bye.